Hello, everyone, and welcome to this year's iteration of Catch World Cup 2023. I am joined by the very attractive tournament host, Snow Leopard. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, and since you didn't introduce yourself, I'll do it for you. You are also hearing from WWWWW, aka Connor, aka the Canadian mastermind of this year's CWC 2023. How's everybody doing?
Oh, I've never been called the Canadian mastermind before. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's the title you're just going to have to get used to now with you running the scene, but I'm excited to see what you have for the qualifiers. What do you guys got for us today?
All right, so this is going to be more so similar to last year. We don't have too many big changes apart from the converts. We're going to have 9 maps, 1 convert in the no mod pool, and the rest will actually be specifics. And we will touch on that more at the end of the stream as for the reasoning and such as to why we made that change. But without further ado, I think we're ready to get started.
All right, then we'll get started with No Mod 1, which is going to be Setsuna, less than or equal to Imitation by Cordelia. This is a map by FD Fluorite.
Now, comparing this map to last year, it definitely is a bit of a step up in terms of difficulty. Consistency-wise, it contains a lot of various different patterns and tests. From wiggles to these fast taps to these really quick turnarounds. There definitely is a lot of content that this map provides.
Yeah, this one coming in at a 6.61 star rating, so it's going to set the tone a little bit for the rest of the qualifiers. I believe slightly harder than last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a lot of the wider sort of patterns definitely boot up the SR by quite a bit.
Yeah, this one coming in at 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Going to be one of the longest maps in the qualifier. Actually, I think the longest map, spoiler alert.
Whoa! Man, I didn't know that was going to be the longest map.
And no tiebreaker in the qualifiers, unfortunately. You're going to have to wait until next week for that one.
And I guess it is warranted to explain slightly why this is quite a step up compared to last year, considering No Mod Specifics is the most common skill set the game has to offer. We did receive some feedback last year regarding No Mod 1 being a tad on the easier side, and we definitely wanted to alleviate that this year.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a step up this year. Got AR 9.6 already out of the gate, a little on the fast side. Not too bad though, should be very doable for all the players here, but definitely a little bit of a step up, a little fast, a little difficult, but should make for some good seeding. That's what qualifiers are for.
I also see people in chat complaining about the skin change. Don't worry, it'll come for Grand Finals tiebreaker again, guys. Have a few weeks and you'll make it.
Ooh, do we have a special skin coming up?
I won't say.
All right, keeping his secrets for now to see how it goes. Okay, as you've seen throughout the song, there's quite a variety of different rhythms and patterns here. We got hyper droplets, snaps, wiggles, 1/3, all sprinkled in throughout. So a little bit of something for everybody in this map.
Yeah, very much so a stamina-based map, especially with how long it is, and consistent with a lot of the strain that it puts on you as you play it.
Seen some mention of FA as well. This one is actually not a featured artist, but don't worry, there's a lot of featured artist maps in this pool coming up, so keep an eye out. I will try to remember to mention that when they come up. So, not featured artist for this one, but we'll have some coming up. So true. Anaton FA win. That would be a wonderful FA artist.
Especially considering how good this song is. This song can definitely be quite a bit to practice with all that it offers, as it breaks down into like the 1/3 section or the more slider-heavy section. Definitely, I'm really happy that this one is more difficult to better spread out the teams in terms of their scores.
Yeah, and it keeps up with some tricky jumps right until the end. And there we are. That is Nomad 1. So with that, we got 2 more Nomads to go. Nomad 2 is going to be Interstellar Travel by USAO, or USAO. Don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but this one is a featured artist, and it is mapped by Genzu. Nomad 2 Genzu coming out.
Now, all the Gemzu enjoyers are rising up, surely. But this map is definitely very much more of a speed pick compared to the last one, with many quick wiggles sprinkled throughout, as well as kind of these dense tech streams that are offered.
So I gotta ask, is this a custom map, or did Yoshi just find the most appropriate map for him to pick?
Yoshi may or may not have tampered with the background. Maybe. I also like the difficulty name Beyond Yoshi. Very nice, very nice. I can say I may have laughed too hard when I first saw this. And I will leave it at that.
I'll get some stats for you. They are actually on screen, but 6.31 star rating, 2.5 minutes, so much shorter than that first 4-minute long one. AR 9.6 still. Does drop the CS back to a standard 4. So a little bit more in line with, we'd say, just kind of standard map you might play on an average playing day.
Yeah, this map definitely is a bit more meta and commonplace. Not as wide as Nomad 1 in particular, but it definitely is a really valid speed test, as you've gotten to see with a lot of the wiggles that are had. It does try to see if you can keep up.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a technical pick, which isn't too surprising. It's kind of the Nomad 2 cliche, I would say. If I remember right. I might be mixing that up.
No, you're right, you're right. And we are heading into the final stream section here.
Yeah, a little speedier on the ending here.
Kind of a final burst pattern to end off the map. Can definitely see people missing there.
Yeah, a nice little spinner for good measure. Break up any ties. And with that, we only have one more Nomad left to go, and it is the Convert map. It's going to be Wormhole by Annabelle, one mapped by Lince Cosmico, and it is a featured artist once again.
Definitely a bit more of a slider-heavy convert. Considering the uniqueness of this map in Standard, the rhythms are definitely extremely unique, which you'll notice very quickly. So it's very fun to play, and there are definitely going to be some droplets that are risky to go for, and you'll have to make the decision on if to go for them or not.
Yeah, I love the note for this one. Technically accessible. It may be wise to sacrifice some droplets in order to maintain combo.
A good note to have.
Yeah, definitely seems like it so far with a couple awkward droplets, but I think it's accurate, technically accessible. I believe that.
Yeah, I can definitely say the individual that made this replay, I have worked with them before, and they aren't usually the type to get hyped, but when they submitted a SS for this replay, they got really hyped. So that was pretty fun to see.
Absolutely. And actually, I didn't call out the stats yet, which this time I do need to, because that 5.61 on your screen is inaccurate. That is the standard star rating. Once converted, this comes to 5.13. So a little bit lower, and actually pretty close to the standard star rating. It can vary quite a bit sometimes with converts, but this one stays around that mark. 3 minutes, 19 seconds, and a little bit down to AR 9.3. Are bumping up that CS to 4.3 though. little bit slower, a little bit smaller.
Man, nice save with that. Ken absolutely spoiling the secrecy of me trying to keep the replay hidden. Thanks for that.
Yeah, it's not even a hidden map. It's where you'd really expect to see it.
The song itself is rather consistent, so you kind of get attuned to where some of the harder jumps are in the further ones and where you're going to encounter the more technical sliders, which is something we definitely value from converts, is rather than having to memorize the specific pattern in the map that it does fit with the song in terms of difficulty, at least as much as can be done with converts.
Yeah, with only one convert in the pool this time around, I think you guys did a really good job of picking one that converts well, I would say, and makes for a pleasant playing experience.
Oh, thank you, Snow Leopard. I appreciate that.
I do also like the fun replayer names. It's one of my favorite parts of showcases. We've got Fruit Worm for this replay. All right, and that is Nomad wrapped up. So we're going to move into Hidden now with Hidden 1, and rap fans, be excited because we got Denzel Curry with Walkin' Cold-Blooded Soul version. This one, not an FA, maybe Denzel Curry FA sometime soon, maybe, perhaps. But Jerry Yagtama for the map on this one.
First of all, that FA would be extremely hyped. Second of all, I really appreciate the non-conventional song usage, especially for Hidden, because of how things can be snapped to the vocal. So there are some slight nudges in terms of where the notes are. For example, it could be 1/16 a bit before to match with said vocal, as well as this map having some droplets that stick a bit out that you don't have to go for, but it will add up if you keep choosing to miss them. And I definitely think if we were to see a lot of A ranks on a map, it would be this one.
Yeah, I like to see the vocal mapping on this one. I think it makes sense, and personal bias vocal mapping is the best mapping, so definitely excited to see it coming out on this map.
God take.
For stats, we got a 5.05 star rating, 2 minutes 41 seconds long, and
yeah, the song slowly, it escalates a little bit, adding in some streams there, before it has a sort of final breakdown, which you will get to see, which incorporates a lot of the droplets we were talking about.
I like the note on this one, copy pasted, technically accessible once again.
The technically accessible is, I enjoy that note. Yeah.
We actually don't have an SS for the replay. It's really close, 99.89, but it leaves the chance out there for some player to show up the replay makers, get your own SS.
Moving into the final slider part here, you can definitely see the intensity of these droplets.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa, indeed.
I think that really just summarizes this whole map. That was a pretty wild jump right at the end there. Watch out for that hyper at the end. All right, we only got one more hidden to go, a hidden 2, and it's going to be Hacktivism by Al Versiclo. This one is an AFB map, and once again, a featured artist. And this is going to be our low AR hidden, so what can you tell me about this one?
Well, it is definitely very similar to last year's AFB hidden map for qualifiers. Kind of sticking with that trend, considering AFB is a low AR enjoyer. He was very eager to take the slot and continue the trend. And
I like the Avocado Fruit Boy for the replay. That's just yet another way to take AFB as a name.
I mean, you know, that could be anybody. I don't know how that makes it AFB.
True. But it does bring up the question, is an avocado a fruit?
Oh man, I don't want to get into that here.
Let us know in the chat what you think. Is an avocado a fruit? And while you're doing that, let me give you the stats. It's going to be 4.15 star rating, 2 minutes, 28 seconds long, AR 8, low AR, as I said earlier, and CS 3.8, so a little bit bigger fruit to make up for it. Give you a little bit of an easier time trying to catch this low AR hidden.
Yeah, and especially with a lot of the dense stats that are here, it definitely does its job to test the lower AR skill set really well. Definitely will have people dashing quite a bit early because of these stacks.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for. So it's only 2 minutes, 28 seconds long, so if you're not a low AR hidden enjoyer, you don't have to suffer for that long. Pretty, fairly low song length, I'd say, for a qualifier map. Or maybe average, but on that lower end of it, so we weren't tortured with a 4 or 5 minute one, so should be a-okay.
You're right, Snow. We should have made it 4 minutes.
Yeah, there's always next year. There we go, one last stack, and that will end the hidden mod pool. So we're going to get into Hard Rock next with Kodoku Egoism by Rohi. This one is a Rockma map, and once again, a featured artist.
Featured artist enjoyers rise up. Now, we can definitely see Rockma kind of toying with some of the HR mechanics that are in this map, in terms of the patterns that are used, as well as some of the spacings that the map has to offer.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit up there again in the difficulty. This time it's going to be a 6.35 star rating, 3 minutes, 15 seconds long, and CS 5.33, which is about what you'd expect for a Hard Rock map. AR 10, of course.
If you'd like to compare this to the map from last year's Hard Rock one, you can definitely see that this one is a bit more snappy, having to turn around faster, hit some of these jumps, while also containing some fast streams like the previous HR one had, just with the additional challenge of having to snap rather quickly.
One thing I have to say I'm surprised about, well, actually I guess it's Rockma Mapper, not Rock Mappool Selector, but I was like, man, no Toho? My tournaments have been plagued with Toho pools for the past year.
I think Toho will always be in the pool.
Perfect. Can't have enough Toho. Oh, cool, it's Kagamine Rin. I just realized the replay name is not Toho. Yeah, that's the Rockma
I thought you realized that earlier. That's why you said that.
No, I just see the name Rockma and immediately I go, oh no, it's Toho time.
At least it's acknowledged.
Shout out Rockma though, definitely a great pooler and a great mapper.
The map itself being really enjoyable and having a lot of just fun hyper chains for Hard Rock.
Definitely has that kind of old song vibe though. I think I saw in chat earlier mentioned this is a 2012 song.
I think it is 2012, yeah. Spacing getting a bit wider for this kind of final section.
And you got your classic HR shenanigans. Sure, Sekre will have paragraphs to write up about this pool.
I am eager to respond to them. Smiley face.
All right, one big spinner to end it out. So no ties here. And that will be Hard Rock 1. So Hard Rock 2 is going to be Mechanical Jagger by Hino Isuka. And that one mapped by Dust and another featured artist once again.
This map definitely focusing more on the smaller CS, which you can see without HR. This is CS 4.4, and definitely focuses a lot on precision, having these streams that are a little bit difficult to tell whether you walk some of these and how much you choose to dash them.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the kind of differences between the map because this one has something special about it. Star rating 6.35, which is exactly the same as the last map after Hard Rock is applied. So quite crazy that you can pull that off. It does have a slightly smaller circles, CS 5.72, still AR10 as we would expect, and only 2 minutes long this time, 2 minutes 13 seconds.
Yeah, similar to Hidden 2, since this is more of the, I guess I should say, niche skill set. We definitely still want it to be tested with kind of similar length rather than making like a 4-minute small circle Hard Rock map.
Makes sense, yeah. A little bit shorter, but about the same intensity, maybe slightly higher intensity.
The map itself having a lot of cool stacks involved. I really enjoy it. I find it immensely satisfying.
Nice build-up section into the stream here. And then we get right back into those pretty wide hyper jumps.
Yeah, the map itself definitely playing more on the conventional side, but more so running the conventional side through smaller circles. So it's going to be very interesting to see what type of players can play this map. And
yeah, CS 5.72, not to be understated. That is quite small. Don't worry, we're going to get back big again with a double time 1. It's going to be Lawrence by Faint. This one, a beat map by Kimitakari, aka Nelly, for those of you who know him from back in the day. And this is another featured artist.
Now, this map, the high AR, consistency, double time, definitely the biggest reading test, one of the biggest reading tests that the qualifier pool has to offer. Doing its best to see how well you can read higher AR. The map itself does contain a few burst sections, but primarily tries to test your reading ability.
Yeah, this one, star rating coming back down again towards the lower end. Still pretty high though, 5.72. It's going to be 2.5 minutes long after our double time is applied. And AR 10.2, CS 4.2. So a little bit high AR, but not getting anything too crazy yet. This isn't in the creeper only realm, but yeah, a little speedy as to be expected from a double time pick.
The creeper will get his turn eventually.
Gonna have to earn it. Gonna have to go up through the ranks, get towards the final pools, and yeah, we might see some crazy double time maps coming out.
And if you do compare this to the DT1 from last year, this is definitely seen as a bit of a step up as well in some of the really fast turnarounds that it has, where last year's did have a bit more control involved, while this one definitely has. It's more of a meta consistency test with double time, with some fast streams implemented.
Yeah, a couple 1/4 triplet bursts. be saying mapper lingo like, how's it going, kids?
Yeah, you're so relevant, you know?
I'm such a mapper, guys.
You can teach me the lingo after the stream ends.
Speaking of the stream ending, the song is about to end, and we only have one song left. So we're actually getting towards the end of the stream. You guys have been enjoying it so far, because we have one map left, Double Time 2, and it's going to be Rogoku Strip by -45-45. Don't know how you pronounce it, but either way, it's a Dave map, and it is, once again, a featured artist.
Now, this map being in quite the opposition to DT1 with the sliders it possesses and how it is more on the unconventional side of double time mechanics with a lot of these slightly like slanted streams and such.
Yeah, and you've heard of low AR hidden. Get ready for low AR double time, because this comes in at 9.67 AR. It's going to be a 6.32 star rating, though, and 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. Standard CS4.
The map itself testing your comprehension of these conjoined streams, which isn't a skill that is too common in this regard for this specific type of difficulty, being able to manage these streams in double time for a very extended period of time. Usually you're used to having the hyperdashes that separate them, but you can definitely see a lot of these go on for quite a longer amount of time.
Yeah, definitely going to need some platter control with this one. Double time going to make your platter movements that much harder to control as we get some really funky sliders in here. Some interesting snaps and streams.
Map itself being lenient enough to hit you with this kind of slow section.
Yeah, a little bit of reprieve before it jumps back into it. Always nice. The pseudo burst section.
And even in this kind of build-up section, you can see some very fast wiggles still and quick turnarounds to make. This map does keep you always on your toes.
Oh yeah, I think I saw someone mention it in the chat, but yeah, this is a song originally from Umineko. So, any fans of Umineko, rejoice. We got you covered here. All right, and that will wrap up the kind of qualifier map pool. So now, Connor, what can you tell me about the map pools for the rest of the stages going forward? What we got going on?
Now, for the rest of the stages forward, it is going to be very similar to last year with the kind of deduction on converts. And I would like to elaborate a bit more on that because we have seen people upset by that decision that was made.
Myself included.
I've noticed. But essentially, the primary idea is to be able to craft something that not only represents catch as a game mode, but also does the absolute best at determining player skill to determine which team deserves to win. Convert play is something that has been decreasing over the years, but it is something that has kind of founded a lot of catch's ideologies as it's been used to map before people even knew how to map. And I don't really want to see them completely go, which is why we did tie the one slot to the final no mod. But I think it is essential for being able to craft an experience that tests these variety of skill sets and being able to edit them in such a way that can accurately test the amount of skills that CTB has to offer. And we definitely had a lot of complaints from higher play in terms of picking converts that had the 1 to 2 like pixel jumps or extremely hard patterns that had to be memorized. So we're hoping we can definitely make up for their absence by being able to test a vast variety of all the skill sets Catch can possibly offer, but I can understand why people are sad to see them be cut like this.
Yeah, definitely very well said. I am sad to see them cut down, but I'm glad that they're not gone entirely. And yeah, I understand kind of where you're coming from at that. I've seen it myself with some of the tournaments I've hosted. People get upset with some of the funkiness it converts, especially towards the higher end. But so a bit of a new era for the mapping scene of CWC. We'll have to see how it goes. Hope you guys stay tuned for that. Obviously coming in the following weeks, we'll see those full map pools coming out. But until then, you guys have a beautiful qualifier pool practice and get ready for. These qualifiers are going to be coming up next weekend. And I think that's going to be about... go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit about how the qualifiers operate for those that are new. Last year we did introduce percent max, but with this it should be the exact same process as last year. Your team will individually join a lobby with a referee and will be specified to play this map pool in 2 runs. You can swap out your 3 best players and put them in on the specific maps of your choosing. After your first run, you can opt for a break and opt to skip maps in the second run if you are happy with those plays. And
ooh, very nice.
The scoring system used will be percent max, which is what was introduced last year, going with the 1 million idea. And if you have any questions about things, please check out the wiki page. Things will be updated and all of the information regarding your qualifiers will be mentioned. And it is very essential. There are a lot of questions that are asked that are answered by reading this wiki page, so I cannot stress it enough.
Yeah, definitely make sure to give that a look. And I think the only other thing to announce for now is that at 18 UTC, we will be doing Sooty Fruity, aka the prediction stream. So that one is going to be over on the Custom All Osu channel. I'll have a ping out in the Discord for that. That's happening. But yeah, 18 UTC today. Definitely be there and check that out. Some of the commentators going to get together and talk about what we think this year is going to look like, our predictions for where people are going to place, and also just kind of give some other thoughts and trivia along the way. So if you want to see some commentators wearing some suits, talking about some fruit catching, be there, be square. But until then, Connor, anything else before we close it out?
I believe that is all that I have to say. Thank you very much, Snow Leopard, for joining me. Hopefully JBH will be back. I already miss him. But I am very happy to have done this commentating showcase with you, and I hope to see more of you on the map pool reveal desk in the future.
Absolutely. It's been a great time. I'm happy to come back whenever. All right. And with that, we will see you guys next weekend or later today if you're going to catch that Sooty Fruity. So thank you guys all. Take care. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.